Hi there, let's do the astro weather for the week starting on the 4th of December. So, this is quite a transformational week. It could be very anxiety triggering for a number of people. Lilith is going to be getting quite fired up in our dark emotional space, and our Chiron wound is going to be showing itself quite a lot this week, asking us to do some healing. We have the huge energy shift of Venus moving into Scorpio, and we see Neptune finally going direct in Pisces. So we start the week off with a Leo moon, and then we get a Virgo moon, a Libra moon, and end up on a Scorpio moon on the weekend. So some big shifts this week and lots of huge energy movements. So make sure you like and subscribe to this channel to keep up to date with all of those. I will be posting some videos on Neptune going direct and Venus moving into Scorpio. So let's get into it. Now, that dream space energy on Monday is a bit of a battle because we have Venus squaring Pluto at 12:30 a.m. So that could kind of coat that whole Monday in an idea of recklessness and a bit of exaggeration and waste. And being close to Christmas, we want to be careful of that. We want to be careful who we're dealing with in relation to money under this as well, because there is that jealous humiliation kind of vibe to this aspect. And we can be seeing people trying to ruin reputations as well. So just be careful what you're posting online on Monday. And, we can become quite obsessed with people in power under this aspect. So, again, don't be making any deals with money under people that you might be having a little bit of an obsessive energy about. The rest of that dream space energy after that square, we see a trine to the north node. So that will be looking at how reputation and waste affects our forward moving progress. And it will really show us how our creativity from a place of self can find a different and perhaps sometimes unusual way forward through those sort of issues. There will be a compromise that will need to take place in order to do that, and we will be empowered to do so with a quincunx there to Neptune in Pisces. At 7:35 a.m., Lilith begins raising her little head in this week, and we will really be looking at what our core ideals actually are. And we are being helped out here by this energy of Jupiter to really find our kind of extra energy and where we shine the most in order to expand. And that will be to expand our idea of who we are and really looking to find those untapped abilities in our true self. Then at 10:19 a.m., we get a quincunx between Mars and Jupiter. So this is that action-taking planet, and it's going to be asking for a compromise there so we can realign those core ideals that Lilith showed us needed to be worked on. And then, of course, Lilith will come in here with Mars in a square, and they're going to have a little fight because that Mars in Sagittarius fire really wants to move with some masculine energy. But Lilith in Virgo, being very heavily in her dark feminine energy, wants to do things with a little bit more intuition and a little less fire. So they are both reckless energies, but Mars is more about aggression, and this could really see us standing up for ourselves with fire. So just be aware of how you are taking action with people under this aspect, because we will see at 11:57 a.m. that a compromise energy comes in, and we will need to be looking at what we want, and that will be from a more mature and long-term perspective. So you might find yourself quite fiery, but then having to make a compromise. Then we see the moon going void at 1:11 p.m. until 2:50 p.m. and it's going void with a sextile to Venus. So this will help restore the balance in anything that we may have let fall out of balance with that square energy from this morning. This is quite a happy energy for the moon to be going void in, and it will be about pleasure and fun within our emotional nature and looking for balance and love again. It is a good luck with money energy, and it is very good to see balance in relationship dynamics. Then at 2:50 p.m., the moon will move to Virgo, and that is our work moon. So I hope you have your to-do list ready. Be aware also under a Virgo moon, we can become quite critical of ourselves and others. So just keep a watch on that behavior. So at 4:14 p.m., we see an aspect with Chiron here. So Virgo moon making an aspect with Chiron in Aries. Now this is that working hard, critical Virgo moon energy, wanting to trigger that Chiron wound. And the purpose of that is going to be to see that's what that is that square to Lilith revealed about the Chiron wounding. So this could be that anxious energy of self-questioning, or it could just be someone coming in and telling you that you were acting unfair. And that's going to wake up some old wounds from younger years for you to have a look at. And then we get an opposition to Saturn at 5:26 p.m. So this is that big daddy energy coming in to help you see the bigger picture. And it will be very helpful to show you where you need to work on yourselves in order to properly heal those Chiron wounds and to evolve any of that Lilith guilt and shame that you're holding onto that made you react maybe a little bit too fiery earlier on in the day. Now, this is the energy, unfortunately, of having fights over finances and over children. It's not a really good time to get advice from anyone that is in authority because that energy is also very unbalanced and your mental state is also a little bit unbalanced under this energy as well. Now at 9:12 p.m. though, we do see a happier aspect returning with the moon trining Mercury, and this is very good for learning. This is sound mind, quick wit energy. So language skills are very good. We're back on our good judgment, and our intelligence gets quite empowered under this aspect, specifically because Mercury is in Capricorn and that is the discipline energy. So we will want to practice independent and practical thinking, and we'll be open to anything that's new showing up. It's an excellent time to do and organize things like going on a road trip because Mercury in Capricorn is supportive of travel. Probably for only a few more days though, because then we will be officially entering Mercury retrograde and then travel is not so much supported. We will also be able to have some logical communication, and this will be helpful in shutting down any self-critical talk that showed up while our Lilith wound and Chiron wound were activated. To Tuesday, December 5th. So the dream space energy here is very interesting because not only do we have a square with Mars, but we also have Venus moving to Scorpio at 5:50 a.m. So this is letting go of some deep past programming in the dream space here Tuesday morning. And that is being supported by a trine to Jupiter in Taurus that is going to help us see how we can expand once we have made space for it. So Virgo moon conjuncting Lilith in Virgo is going to be both our expressed emotions and also our repressed emotional natures meeting up here. So they will be able to make a bit more sense of each other because they are coming in with the same energy, and it will really help us see the power in allowing our full self to be seen without being critical and censoring ourselves for the comfort of others. So that's going to also bring in some issues in how we take action, because once we are aware of those things, we could be triggered into our battle stations a little. Because when we wake up with this energy, we might see, we might be waking up and really understanding where we've let ourselves down and where we were taken advantage of, particularly when a masculine energy is involved. So just be aware that you're not waking up ready to fight, okay? Because a lot of that energy will just be coming from a place of being annoyed at yourself for repressing all of those things. And of course, like I said, Venus is moving to Scorpio. So this will awaken love and sexuality, and it'll be very energetically awoken inside of us. And it's going to make us quite passionate. Our erotic natures are going to be very appealing to us and others. We are likely to have emotional adventures, and they're going to be successful. Be aware that this is the energy, Venus in Scorpio, of a lot of jealousy. A lot of possession kind of energy can come up, so be very careful with that. It's the idea of sensuality running the ship, okay? And self-control is it's not very easy to achieve under this, okay? Because it does awaken our inherent natures, and we will find ourselves struggling with jealousy and lust and sort of immoral tendencies, because there's going to be a want for satisfaction, and putting restraint on that is really difficult under Venus in Scorpio energy. So then at 8:20 a.m., after that busy dream space morning, we see the moon in Virgo making an aspect with the North Node. And this is going to ask us to push past any obstacles as we start off the day. So this could just be somebody coming in and changing the plan for the day as well. And it's something that we might find quite stressful, quite anxiety ridden. So just be aware of that. It could be someone even changing the plan to suit themselves. It's that kind of energy that, it's particularly after all of that Lilith trying to get you to stand up for yourself, you might find it quite annoying. Just be aware of that. We are supported though by an aspect at 10:27 a.m. to sort of let go of control over things that we can't control. And it's the moon meeting up with Chiron again here. And so we will be able to see that perhaps there are some places where we like to have control that are just fallout from emotional traumas from our younger years. So just be aware of that. At 2:45 p.m., the sun's going to come in and shine some light on how letting go of these past traumas and our emotion reactions around them will indeed lead to some expansion towards more comfort in our value systems towards self. Now at 4:48 p.m. we have a half moon in Virgo. Now a half moon really does kind of upset the whole day. It's a very annoying day because in being in Virgo, it's generally around family and health issues. And it's this kind of energy that is annoying on account of we need to be reevaluating any manifestations or goals that we opened up under the new moon. So that can be quite an annoying thing to do. Just after that half moon, the sun comes in and makes a square to it. And this will help us shine the light on that control issue. And it will help us kind of see how, if we are trying to control everything, that often does stop some fun and adventure from coming in. Because, of course, if we try to control everything and try to know everything, there is no surprise and no spark. And we often find ourselves very close minded to adventures that we could potentially have that don't fit into the control plan. So at 6:25 p.m., we then have an aspect between the moon and Pluto, of course, and this is going to trigger some anxiety because there will be deep change needed in order to let go of control. And we need to be more responsible for the outcome of situations that we have tried to control. And that's what Pluto in Capricorn is going to help us get some discipline around. Really understanding that how, one, our daily habits are potentially letting us down, and two, how this need for control is letting us down, all right? So we will then see the compromises that need to be made in order to heal that Chiron wound, because we see a quincunx between the moon and Chiron at 10:36 p.m. So 10:57 p.m. though, that'll show up in relationships then, in a relationship dynamic, and it's going to bring a little bit of tension because as we start to have to make these compromises, we could see that people are now acting in their own natural instincts and for themselves in relation to that, under that Venus in Scorpio. And now we're going to be looking at how we need to let go of control, but are we letting go of control to someone who's now only acting in their own best interests? So that could be a bit of a challenging aspect. Now at 11:58 p.m. we will see a Venus make a biquintile aspect with Neptune, and this is going to help us out here because that really does open up the imagination space, and it will help us let go of what is no longer serving us. So we will be able to sort of revisit what we believe our natural instincts are and whether or not they are still aligned with this person that we currently are. And then we get to a Wednesday, the 6th of December. Now there's some dream space energy here. We only have one aspect though, thankfully, and that is just really about seeing what we need to let go. And again, coming back to that need for control. So really realizing that when we try and control things that are out of our hands, it does really stop our forward moving space because we're putting up rules and restrictions on things that we cannot control. Instead of just letting it be and dealing with the outcomes as they come to us, we find ourselves ruminating over the what ifs. So then at 7:44 p.m. we get some really nice energy for change, and that is the moon making a trine with Uranus in Taurus. This will give us great attention, we'll be very persuasive, we'll have an idea of good ambition, creativity, being original. This is the energy where we could come up with some really great ideas, and these could be about changing our health, changing our daily habits, and we will be really supported to put these into place here and to adapt to any changes that we might need. At 9:51, we see a trine between Venus and Saturn. So this will make us quite thorough and precise about those things that we are now putting into place. It will also make us loyal and sincere when we're looking at our relationships. And we will have an energy of being persistent and focused. So if we are putting new habits into place today, we are being very supported by this aspect here with Saturn. It will give us a really great energy for deep commitments in relationships as well, and those sorts of ideals will start raising their heads in our mind or in our reality as well. We could be having conversations with people about it, and it will really give us an understanding of what it is we need when it comes to deep commitments. So these could be personal relationships, family relationships, and work relationships. At 10:44 a.m., there is an anxiety triggering aspect between the moon and Jupiter. We get that nitpicky Virgo moon looking at our abundance and our comfort, and it's asking us to push past obstacles that are holding us back. So there could be some obsessive energy here to overcome relating to perfectionism. So let's try and work on those things. At 12:01 p.m., there is a semi-square with Pluto here. So this is the sun going to come in here and shine some light on those fears in our shadow. And they're likely to be around where you need to let go of control, or places where we might project our repressed anger. At 2:45 p.m., the moon's making a quincunx with the north node, so this is going to show the compromises needed in order to enact those daily habits and health, and how they will benefit us moving forward. Then we get a 5:16 p.m. Activation of the God complex with the moon making an opposition with Neptune. So this is that energy of your imagination really going way too far out and not making any sense. And it puts there an off balance in your ability to trust your intuition because of that illusionary space that Neptune is bringing in. So we will need to be creative in order to fight any kind of feelings of depression, because childhood traumas could raise their heads here. And the best way to deal with them under this aspect is to be creative and really feel them in your body. Okay, so walking, dancing, those sorts of things, very helpful for this energy. At 8:41 p.m., we will then want to be taking organized action, okay? The moon's making an aspect with Mars in Sagittarius. So this is where we can start making plans. So planning, how to take these daily steps towards a goal, or even planning an adventure that could really help open your mind up to perhaps new ways to go towards that goal. Also very supported under that. At 10:55 p.m., there's a bit of anxiety around that adventure and goal and how it might affect your future. But then we see some logical communication and some unexpected ideas coming in to help us push past that anxiety at 11:24 p.m. Moving on to December 7th. So this is a huge energy day as well. This is Neptune going direct, okay? So at 12:19 a.m., so first thing there in the morning in that dream space, Neptune is going direct. So when Neptune is retrograde, it's like our compassion and our empathy sort of gaze is inward, and we're able to be a little bit kinder to ourselves, more forgiving and more self-tolerant. When Neptune goes direct, however, that gives us more time to allow compassion and selflessness outwardly, and sort of to extend that well wishes that we have been having for ourselves out into the world. This is the energy of releasing our attachments to illusions as well, and this is where we will start seeing some truth really being uncovered in the wider world, but also in our personal lives. So keep an eye out for all of these secrets about to be revealed, where we have potentially been either sort of putting illusions over ourselves, or other people have also been quite open with their illusions toward us, okay? So we have the moon going void at 12:50 a.m. until 3:34 a.m. as well, and it's going void with a trine to Pluto. So we'll find under that energy in the dream space that it will be related to our emotional life, and it will be sort of a one-sided look at it. So in relation to service and care, so it could be either you seeing how you're not balanced out, or how somebody else is not balanced out in relation to giving and receiving service and care. But then at 3:34, when the moon moves into Libra, we will want a more balanced look at relationships, and we will feel a little bit more friendly and a little bit more cheerful towards looking at it. So by the time we wake up, we will be in a place of wanting to restore balance from that position of a more cheerful and friendly space, okay? So at 6:25 a.m., we see what compromises are needed with responsibility and fun in order to restore that balance with an aspect between the moon and Saturn. At 8:34 p.m., we see an aspect with the moon and Venus that's going to help us be more open-minded to that relationship dynamic. And, somebody here could be acting on instinct, and that could be causing an imbalance here. Because with Venus just newly in Scorpio, there could be some things coming up in relationship dynamics as people start leaning into their more natural instincts, that we might see them as an imbalance, or we might see them as a secret being revealed, but it may just be them being themselves, okay? Now, At 8:34 as well, we see the sun making a quintile aspect with the moon. So that will help us really see what needs to be restored balance wise, because the sun will shine some light on it. Okay. At 1:51 p.m., there's going to be an anxiety triggering change required in a relationship dynamic. And we will have some logical communication on that by 3 o'clock. But it's going to be blunt communication. It's going to be someone coming in because that Libra moon's going to want some fun and pleasure, and the square aspect with Mercury and Capricorn there is going to be some blunt and logical communication that is not going to align very well with that Libra vibe. Okay, at 4:41 p.m. there is a quincunx with Jupiter and the moon. So this is going to be the compromise energy that we need to make that change after that blunt communication coming in. So this could be where we find a way to have a conversation with someone to say, hey, maybe you need to be careful of how you're talking there and consider my feelings as well. All right, so at 6:01 p.m., we get a bit of an annoying energy because Libra moon is going to want some balance and pleasure. And Lilith in Virgo is going to want to be judgmental about it because she's going to want you to do some work and be yourself. And Libra just wants to show up and have a good time. At 6:28 p.m., we will see what we needed to let go of that was sort of inhibiting us moving forward there. And it's likely to be an old rule structure that had been inhibiting our balance, and that is where we need to be letting go. And then at 10:15 p.m., the moon makes a sextile aspect with Mars in Sagittarius, and this is where we find the action to restore the balance. So it will give us a really good ability to communicate well, particularly with someone of the opposite energy to us. So masculine and feminine energy will be able to communicate really well, and it's a really good relationship energy at work and at home. All right. We get to Friday, December 8th. Happy Friday. We made it. It's very quiet on the dream space Friday morning. We've got no aspects until 7:40 a.m. where we get a biquintile aspect with Uranus, and this is going to be needing to let go of an idea that we have in order to adapt to a change. So Friday morning, you could be waking up with an email or a call from the boss and your whole day has changed, okay? So just be ready for that, okay? At 10:36 a.m., the sun makes a sextile aspect with the moon. So this is a passive energy, but it is very good for rational thinking. We will be able to think with our head over our heart, but it will still be balanced because we've got that moon in Libra. So Libra likes to see all sides of the argument. So work should run smoothly, relatives and friends, they should be helpful, relationships should be very upbeat because the sun will shine light here on all the balance and pleasurable parts of our life. Now, while that is happening, the moon's going to make an opposition with Chiron, but this is a good energy, I think. Will be a bit of a tug of war on the we versus me aspect of our emotional natures, but because it's coming with this sextile to the moon, it should be quite easy to use that energy to balance out the I and the you in the situation. Then at 11:11 a.m., what a great aspect to be dealing with Chiron. The sun's going to make a trine to Chiron. So we will really be able to use the sun's energy here because it is in Sagittarius, being quite direct, being quite fearless, to be able to show us a way through our Chiron wound. So this is quite a good aspect. Again, with that starting energy of the day, we will be quite lighthearted about it. It could just be just a little trigger point where we realize, oh, that's something that I need to work on, but in a good way, in a light, sun shining on it kind of way, not a dark depths of my soul trauma moment, okay? At 12:22 p.m., we will get a bit of an annoying anxiety trigger because this is going to asking us to move our value system a little in order to rebalance after the Chiron situation. And then at 3:08 p.m., Mercury is going to trine Jupiter. So this is another amazing aspect, very good for learning and communication. So any sort of applications you're making for higher education or any studying that you're doing, very highly supported on Friday. Business affairs also going really well on Friday. Ask for a promotion if you're up for one. Ask for a raise. Really great energy for that. And we will be very disciplined in our communication. That's what makes all of this energy very great. So when we are looking at expansion of finances and of comfort, we will be very disciplined in how we communicate those ideals to other people. So really take advantage of that energy on Friday. At 7:24 p.m., there's going to be an unexpected change to your Friday plans, okay? It's likely to be something that you thought was going to be super fun, something that you had planned with that moon in Libra, and Uranus and Taurus just going to come in there and ask for a little bit of compromise because it's not going to run how you wanted it to. All right, so then at 11:50 p.m., the moon's going to make a semi-square with Lilith to finish off the night here, and that's just going to ask for some balance again, Libra moon. Okay, so this is going to show us what we need to shed in relation to outworn situations and patterns of thinking so that we can regain some balance in the give and take of relationship situations. And then we get to Saturday, the 9th of December. So the dream space here is a little busy. Okay, this is going to be asking for some balance and some beauty to be restored to align our dreams with our goals. So there's going to be some issues between how we take action for ourselves while also maintaining balance in relationships. And we're going to be empowered to create order and be logical about how we communicate our needs and our forward moving plans. Now, the moon goes void at 12:05 p.m. with a square to Pluto. So we're having all of this energy in the dream space about realigning our goals and communicating our needs in relationships. And this square to Pluto is a very emotionally violent and aggressive energy, okay? We might be wanting to lash out. The feminine and masculine energy very unbalanced, and there could be a lot of disagreements over joint finances, inheritances, taxes, alimony, all of those issues during this void moon. Okay, so don't make any big decisions, particularly in relationships, between 12:05 p.m. and 2:34 p.m. on Saturday, because there will be things in the dark that you do not understand and you will be quite emotionally aggressive. All right, so at 2:34 p.m. the moon's going to move into Scorpio. So this is that deep emotional space moon. Okay, a little bit possessive, a little bit secretive. And, you know, it could bring a little bit of like that taboo spice out as well with that passion and sensuality being activated. It can also bring disputes and vindictive behavior, all right? So if we are feeling quite unbalanced with that square to Pluto, we might also then step into this moon in Scorpio and be ready to go to battle, all right? Try and lean into the need to experience something new in order to work this energy through your body, and really be more adaptable to any sort of changes that feel quite severe to your comfort, all right? At 4:16 p.m., the moon's going to make a biquintile with Neptune. So this is that Scorpio moon really trying to show us what we need to let go of in order to see through an illusion, with Neptune and Pisces involved here now moving direct. Okay, at 5:33 p.m., we see the moon trining Saturn. Now, this Scorpio moon trining a Saturn in Pisces, this gives us a really excellent time to conduct business, all right? So Scorpio being aware of our long-term financial goals and Saturn being our big daddy discipline, all right? Any matters that need emotional control can be handled under this aspect, and we will be very mentally strong with our financial decisions, okay? Making any long-term decisions that benefit you as well in relation to money and relationships long-term, these decisions will be quite easy under this aspect. Now at 6:16 p.m., there will be a semi-square with the moon, okay, sun and the moon. And this is going to be the sun really trying to shine some light on our impulses and dark desires that have inhibited us. And it might even light up some secrets about where that Neptune illusion came from that we saw earlier, sort of starting to reveal itself, okay? And then we make it to Sunday, December 10th. Now, this dream space is very interesting on Sunday morning, okay, particularly after that Saturday that we've had. So this is an emotional and tender energy Sunday morning, all right? There's lots of deep emotional revelations being very possible, very possible. Secrets being revealed to ourselves about how we really feel about people that we're in relationship connections with, and how they complement and balance our future goals and dreams, all right? So under this energy though, we will be very able to understand these things through a logical mind and be able to think more long-term from a place of comfort. And these two positive aspects that we see here in this dream space with Lilith will really help us be quite easy flowing and creative to any underlying and repressed emotions when it comes up to relationship connections. And we'll be finding ourselves more easily able to kind of process and see if these connections are the sort of people that we do easily connect with or if they do not. So then when we're waking up, we see an aspect at 9:19 a.m. there Sunday morning that's going to be an anxiety trigger. It's the Scorpio moon meeting up with Neptune, and that forward moving energy is going to start revealing those secrets. Okay, Neptune in Pisces direct, Scorpio loving secrets. We're going to start seeing some secrets come out, and they might be secrets that you've been telling yourself. There might be illusions that you've been creating for yourself that have been inhibiting your forward motion. So at 11:46 a.m., we see a semi-sextile with Mars. Now, this is going to give us a little bit of difficulty seeing clarity on how we need to take action about these dream space revelations. And then at 2:34 p.m., an opposition between Venus and Jupiter is going to create a little bit of a tug of war, because Venus is going to want to move forward with these deep connections and sharing secrets in these relationship dynamics. And Jupiter in Taurus is just going to want to come in and check if that aligns with its core ideals and its needs for comfort. All right. So then at 7:50 and then at 7:54 p.m., we have a quincunx aspect between the moon in Scorpio and Chiron in Aries. So Chiron's going to raise its little head here with just a little reminder of an emotional reaction that we created from trauma from the past. And Scorpio moon is going to try and direct us toward where we need to transform in order to move past that thought process. Then at 10:02 p.m., we get a quintile between the moon in Scorpio and Pluto in Capricorn. And this energy is going to really help us create order of that Chiron situation and understand it more. And we will be very empowered to understand the strength in allowing our underworld to be expressed so it can transform these parts of us. And that's how we're ending out the week. So if you can, please like and subscribe to my channel. That'd be very helpful for getting this information out to as many people as possible. I will be posting up some more information in regards to Neptune moving direct and Venus moving into Scorpio, those big energy shifts of this week. If you would like to get a birth chart analysis in order to know how this week energy will affect you subjectively, please jump onto my website and see what sort of readings I have available. I also have some gift vouchers up there if you would like to get a birth chart analysis or a tarot reading for your friends and family for Christmas. Please take advantage of that while they are up there. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I will be starting to do some live Q&As on astrology on TikTok, and also I will be doing some live tarot readings for anyone interested in that. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope you have a really great week and really lean into this transformative energy that always seems to show its head around Christmas time. Please check out my other videos. I think you will find them very helpful if you are someone who follows along on the astro weather. And until next time, stay weird.